All right, thank you for joining us this afternoon. Today, we will be reviewing how to proof, complete, and then submit your pages in the Memory Book Online program. So this webinar is approximately 20 to 30 minutes long, and you'll be able to review the topics we are covering today in the manual. And this will, if you need to get back to these steps and you have the guide, this will be on page 2 on 3 in the Create and Design section. So where I'm at in the program just at the moment is I'm on one of our design pages that I have, or I feel that I have ready to complete and submit and send that in for printing. Um, so where I'm at, I'm just in the new page designer. So I'm under create, I'm in the new designer, and I'm just on one of my spreads that I would like to turn in. Now, as we go through on completing and submitting your pages, I'm going to show you all the different areas where you can run proofs of your pages. And then I'm going to show you all the different areas or the 2 different spots where you can complete and submit them. So you can do them here in the page designer. And then we're going to go and visit the page ladder as the other spot where you could do the same actions. Um, so to start off, what we do, one of the first things that probably should do is whenever you feel like it's complete is to start reviewing. And so tools that we have in the program that help with the reviewing part, we're going to first start with just how to generate a proof of your pages. So to generate a proof of your pages, in here in the page designer, in the kind of the upper, I'll tell you what, let me bring my browser in just a little bit here. So up here in your top toolbar, you're going to see this little preview page button. And if I click on this, what this will do is it will generate a proof that you can print out and send out to help review or send out to someone that is helping you review those pages. If you have the whole 2-page spread showing, it'll do both pages there. If you just do a single page, it'll just do that one page that you have up. The proofs are going to show you where that estimated trim line is and where your page is trimming at, so you can see if anything's going to be, if anything is at risk or anything like that. Usually when you're looking at your pages, the only thing you really want extending out past that trim line is a background, unless you're doing a candid bleed page on purpose, and that way really the only thing that you want kind of out here is kind of empty space and some photos that you don't mind being trimmed off, and because you designed it that way. So there is the first spot here is just there on the page. So there's one. So that's right here. Now, bring my browser back down a little bit. Okay. So first spot's there here on the designer. Now the other spot, I'm going to go to plan, and I'm going to go to page ladder. Okay, so if we're under plan and page ladder, if we're on the page ladder, if you're needing to get a proof of a page here, let's say, if you just wanted to give one little, maybe you got the principal's message here that you want to proof here real quick or send out. Above each page in the page ladder, you'll see a little printer icon here. And when you hover over, it says View PDF. And if you just click on that, this will give us that proof there as well. And that way we can go through and check our principal letters or any kind of pages of importance. Definitely when your book comes in here, and no, we give it a quick look before it goes on to press. It's what we call our soft proof department. They will go through, they will check things like big headlines. Maybe the most, they'll usually go with a principal or a teacher's message or some kind of dedication. We will check some of that. But outside of that, a lot of this will be kind of print as submitted. So definitely, make sure you're getting the proofs out, whether it's from here, there, the singlet. Now, if you want to do more than just single page proofs, like there are some pages going through here you may not need to proof, so you might not need to generate a single proof for every single page. Um, as you're going through. But let's say then like someone from the administration or like the principal or someone, or maybe there's a committee or something that has to review the book. So one of the other options here to proof your pages here in the page slider from the print drop down is print all. Now what print all will do is it will generate a full PDF proof of your book. When you run that full book PDF proof, it may take a few minutes to generate. Now, when you do have that PDF generated, it will be at a size that may be too big to email. So what we suggest in that case, if you do a full book proof and you've got to get that out to another administrator, principal, review committee, the best way to get that out there to them would to post it to something like Google Drive, Dropbox, Microsoft OneDrive, or even send it via WeTransfer, some kind of sharing, file send. And that's just because that proof is in file size wise is going to be too big to attach to an email and send out. So now while the single page proofs that like if you run just a single page or have a 2-page PDF, those are great. Those will hook onto an email and send out to someone to review. You can also run these to a printer and hand them out that way too. But if it does come to your big full book proof, just remember after generating it, put it to a cloud service again like Google Drive, Dropbox, and share it that way, and that'll ensure it could get that large file to the person it needs to be. So that was kind of showing you just the different ways you could start generating proofs and getting that in reviews. So then as you get those proofs back, you start making corrections and going through your book. And then now, after you start getting corrections, let's say that you're now ready to start um, sending those pages in and completing your pages. So I'm going to go back to our final stages page here, and we're going to go through the steps on completing it to kind of show you what we'll do here from the page designer. Now, when you are submitting pages and completing pages here in the page designer, uh, what we're going to do is we're going to pull up the pre-flight menu. In the bottom right corner of the page designer, you're going to see this little 2-button toggle that's down here. And to bring up the pre-flight panel, we're just going to click on the top button of the toggle. And it's going to bring up a panel along the right-hand side here. Now, when we first pull this up, this is comments. And if we switch over, we're going to want to switch over to the little caution triangle side, and this is the pre-flight tab. So what the pre-flight tab, what this pre-flight bar does is this is where you're gonna, run spell check, we're gonna do proof, but this is also where you'll come to find any issue that may be, maybe with the page. So when we're looking at a page like this, on the pre-flight panel, it's going to show you both pages. So I've got page 10, and if I click on here, page 11, it's going to show me that I do have some other options for here for page 11. So it says for page 10, it's telling me that I have a text element remains unedited. In simple terms, that just means you've got an empty text box on the page that empty text box or an unedited text box on the page that needs to come off there. Now, the one neat little thing about the pre-flight panel is it's going to highlight where those issues are on the page. So for this one, a text element remains unedited. If I click on the issue, it's going to highlight on my page spread where that item is. And so for this one, I click off of it. So I'm going to actually turn the pre-flight panel off too, because it'll show you where that little caution triangle is. But I kind of purposely put that up there as just a little teeny text box and the type is just one little word and the type is in black, just to show that something like that can get kind of hidden amongst this and could stop a page from completing. Um, so I'm gonna bring that back up. I'm gonna bring the caution triangle back up. Like I said, if you click on the issue on the pre-flight panel, it will then highlight where that is on the page, and then you can easily just remove it. And then once you hit save, you'll see that that issue has dropped off from there. And so those were some of the other things that we may see here. So I'm going to go page 11, kind of go through some common things that you may see here. So we got a text element remains unedited. It'll show, where's that text is there. Here's the other one. It's pointing into my other box that's down here. And I just don't actually have regular words in it, but I just want to show kind of how this works. It's highlighting where this issue is so you can easily address it. Now, sometimes you may have things that are hidden behind other images, and that's going to be the case with this. An image element remains unedited. So if you see an image element remains unedited, what that means is you have an empty photo box somewhere there on your page spread or there on that particular page. And again, if we click on it, it's going to highlight where that is. So right now in this example, let me zoom in here too. I'll zoom in on this, just kind of show this better. But it's saying that this photo, this empty photo box, is somewhere behind our bigger photo that's here. Well, I'm going to click on my here on the pre-flight panel, so that highlights that issue again. Now, the easy way to kind of do this, so when you have that empty element selected, if it's ever behind anything, what we kind of suggest is using the arrange tools in this case. So you can either take the item that it's on, the item that's over top of it and send it backward, or if you actually have the element that is the issue selected, you can come up here to the arrange drop down. And let's just say I want to bring that to the front so I can see what that is. And now that I have that to the front, I can just hit my backspace or delete key just to take that off there. And if I go up and hit save, that will remove that issue from the list here. And this one, to fix these, I'm just going to add some type in here. But I just wanted to show that even the stock boxes, I'm just going to put in group photo. And now they hit save, that little caution triangle went. Whoop. Just write something there, send it in the yearbook, and I'll save. Okay, so that got my other caution triangle to go away. And so now I've got one last issue here on the page, and I click on it, and this is kind of a rare one that doesn't see most of the time, but it can be found in some templates. It's just saying a modular region should be replaced with a page element. As I select it, it's showing that it is behind this photo that's here. And just to show some things here, I'm just going to move the photo out of the way just to show that this is referring to this block here. This came in with a template, one of the templates or the modules that we have in here. And basically what it is, when these modules are basically, it shows an area for where you to draw. It's a shape, but it's actually meant for you to put a box in that spot and kind of serves as a template for how big you need to make something. And then you would just delete out that module. Well, that just got stuck behind there, and I actually have an image that I already have in this spot. So I'm going to bring that issue up, that module region, and kind of like the other I did before, I'm going to bring that to the front, and I'm just going to select it, and I'm going to hit save. Um, Now, the reason I am doing in when I select or I'm finding objects behind other objects and I'm using the arrange tools to change the layering there, and I'm doing that just so that I'm not, if you have stuff that you've worked hard and you've lined them up, sometimes finding that extra element, using the layers just keeps you from having to move something out of the way and kind of, you know, uh, don't want you to mess up that spacing or anything like you had or there that you probably worked hard to get. So that's just why I'm showing you that. It's just an easier using the layers to change the, using that arrange to change the layers to bring something front back, keeps you from having to drag something out of the way. And it's just kind of easier to select something there. So I just really want to kind of point that out that, definitely use that if you have something hidden behind there. Let's put that. Okay. So at this moment, as I'm looking here, I've got no issues for page 10 and I have no issues for page 11. So the next part that we would do for now, going through here, I'm already saved up. So from here to complete a page from the page ladder, I'm going to mark a page as complete. And now once we mark a page complete, we'll see it went from yellow to green. And our submit button is grayed out, but we have a return button. And what return is going to do, when your page is completed, your page is in a locked state, but it's not in a submitted state. So it's in a locked state so no further editing can be done on it. But as an advisor can return a page, meaning returning a page just puts it back in progress. It'll allow you to make any kind of corrections you need before you complete it again and submit it. So it's a good way when you're working on your book. As you're wrapping up on pages, it's good to get them to a completed status and first, because what we suggest is just go through and as you're working on, mark your pages completed and wait to kind of submit your pages till you have them all completed. And that way, as you're doing your review, if you see anything that needs to be addressed, you can then quickly, you know, return that page, make any corrections, um, and that way get it completed back again. If you go ahead and submit pages, what may happen there is it's nothing's going to go to press until we have all your pages, but it's just the turnaround and getting that page back to you. So if you submit it, you would have to call into us. We then have to go and unsubmit that page. And just kind of how that system normally works, it could take between 10 minutes or up to an hour for that page to be back in progress for you. So I'm going to go ahead and mark it complete. Oh, I do want to save. All right, so I've got page 10 submitted or completed, I mean. I'm going to mark page 11 as complete. I'll go back here. So on the steps, before we can get this submit button available to us, what we first have to do is run spell check and do a PDF proof. So in this case, I'll just do it quickly for this. So I know I don't have any issues on this page. Here's our proof. So it's going to have us force us to do a proof again at this spot here. And then, whoop, didn't mean to click that. I was trying to get rid of that. There we go. So, okay. So now that we have our run spell check done, we've done our proof. Our submit button is now available for us. And if I go to click this, it would then submit our pages. And that's going for both 10 and 11 because we've addressed all issues. And since we had the spread open, when we did spell check, it went ahead and did it for both sides. And it did it for this. It proved both pages. The spell check only runs on the page or page spread that you're on at a time. So definitely as you're going through this, it's definitely do spell check on your pages there. Okay, so here was how to address and find some things and then submit from the page designer. Here's some other things that we'll look out for. I want to jump to just a page of importance here. Just I did kind of like a mock principles page here or a teacher's message. This could be kind of any one of those things here. So as you're looking through, if you see something that's underlined, that's our spell check saying, hey, something may not be right here with that. So if I were to hit run spell check for this, it looks like, and I purposely kind of put some misspellings in here. So looks like the I and E were switched on achievements. So do I want to change achievements to this? And on this one I do. Looks like there's extra I in nurturing. So it's going to catch obvious misspellings here. Successful in that. Now, one thing that the spell check will not catch when you're kind of reviewing that on a page, it's not as evolved as Microsoft Word or something like that. So it's going to catch obvious misspellings, but what it's not going to catch for you is grammar usage, and it's also not going to catch in the event that a misspelling still creates a correctly spelled word. It's not going to catch that. So in the event, like if you were typing out something and you put the word read, but then you left out an E or an A, and that letter then was read or rad, it's not going to see those as a misspelling. So definitely when you have principal's message, go ahead and run the spell check. It's going to catch the deep, the obvious stuff there for you. But we suggest to still kind of generate a proof of this page. That way, someone, another set of eyes can read it and hopefully, catch those other little things where this did not. So just want to put that out to you. What's capable and how robust it is. It's very simple. It's going to catch the obvious, but uh, not much beyond that. All right. So what do I have to do? We've gone over proofing. We've gone over the pre-flight panel. Really, kind of the other area to show you how to wrap things up would be the page ladder. So if we go under plan and back to page ladder, oop, I'm fine. I'll come back. I have to show that probably again. Okay. So now that I'm on my page ladder, I'm actually going to do two things here real quick. So I'm going to go back to my pages that were here. So in the page ladder is another spot that you can go and complete and submit pages. And this used to be the area where customer advisors would come to before we had the pre-flight panel. They would come to page ladder. Above each page, you'll see a little purple arrow icon here, and that is your complete button in this area. If you hit complete, you'll get a status update. Just hit OK. And now you see that your page is locked and it says completed here. So the same thing, little purple button above the page, just click that to complete it. And once you hit the complete button for the page, you'll then see a submit button and a return button. So again, that return button, I click that, that just puts that page back in progress for you. But then once you hit complete, you'll get, return and submit. And if you click the submit button, that will then send that page into us. So it's a little simple here, but the only kind of the disadvantage on this spot is if you do run into an issue, it'll tell you what it is in a little prompt, but then you have to go back to the page and still kind of do it that way. Usually it's fine to go either spot. Usually a lot of people will come here first and try to submit complete a page. If it goes through, they just keep going. And then, if they hit that issue, oh, it's not completing and it gives them that, that's when a lot of people usually go and pull up the pre-flight panel that is there. So here's how we complete pages, complete and submit pages on the page ladder. Again, just your Okay, you'll start with a little complete button, hit that. And then you get 2 more buttons, the submit and return, and just wrap it up by hitting submit. That is there. Um, so that is mainly all that we kind of have for going through and submitting the pages. Um, Going through there. So some other things that we'll kind of address here of like what happens after submitting pages. So once you have submitted all of your pages, what we ask is please tell your customer rep to let them know that you have submitted your pages. And when we put the book into production, you will receive a confirmation email with all the specifications of your book. If you see a mistake, we ask that you let us know right away. Because once a book is in production, there may be a charge to stop the book, so we can make a correction. So that's in some of these with kind of the digital age we are. Some of that moves pretty quick. So if you find a mistake, like if you submit pages during the evening, and let's say still that evening you catch something, give us a call first thing in the morning, call your rep, and usually kind of in that time frame, it really hasn't probably moved beyond pre-press at that point. So definitely give us a call. We can kind of stop it. That way, we can get anything, that way you can get anything fixed that you need. That way you don't cause an embarrassment or anything that in the yearbook. So definitely. And then the last thing here is you will receive an invoice after about 10 days after submission. So um, once again, I want to say thank you for joining us this afternoon. I hope our webinar has helped reduce the stress of submitting your yearbook pages. And if you have any questions or have a problem arise, please feel free, call us here in tech support or your customer rep for help. And we look forward to receiving your books and enjoying all your creative ideas. So thank you again, everybody. Have a great rest of your afternoon, and we'll see you down the line. If you need any help submitting your pages, please give us a call. All right.